There are some aspects of training for a marathon that become easier with the number of marathons you've done. I've done 35, so I feel like you gradually get into a groove of hitting different workouts, but the workouts become harder. Since they're so gradually increasing, you don't fade away from them, I guess, as much. Because if I would have started my first marathon with the kind of workouts I do now, I don't think I ever would have kept on going.
It takes a lot of time and dedication to train for a marathon, especially when you have a big goal. Training for a marathon is a big commitment. It takes a lot of time, and a lot of people don't see that. Even other running friends don't realize the commitment that it takes to run a marathon well.
I think the beauty of the marathon is that it's only that day you think about, but I mean, most of it is the journey of training together and trying to, get those workouts, fix it, and support each other through the training. So there's so much more to the marathon than just showing up at the race.
It's months of training. It's working on speed and endurance at the same time. And every time I do one, I feel like maybe I could have done a little better with my pace or my nutrition or my training or my speed or my endurance. There's always a little something that you could maybe do a little bit better. So you're always trying to find that. And when everything lines up and it works out, it's a really great feeling. So that's what keeps bringing me back, is the possibility that I could do even better. This next race that we're all doing is the Marathon Project, and it was first run in 2020 just for the pro athletes as like an elite race only, and now this year it's coming back for amateur runners too, but it had a qualification standard, so everyone there is pretty fast, and the course is designed to allow the runners to run as fast as possible. My goal for this race is to go sub 3. So that's taking 9 minutes off my marathon time from a year ago. But this race is set up to have great weather. It's a flat, fast, looped course where I get to have my own nutrition on the course. That's why I set my goal so high, because I think it's achievable in this race. My goal going into this race is to PR. That's always a goal, to get faster and better, but this one is specifically designed to go as fast as possible. So my goal is to get a PR at this race and to see what I can do.
I did not go after this for a PR. I don't know that I have a PR left in me. I'm not really sure. My drive is starting to take me in a different direction. I did want to see a fast-ish race. I was going in a direction of, I'd say, like a 3:10 to 3:05 until I had a little recent strain go on. So I did back off and do a lot of rehab stuff to help out. But I have done 90% of the training, considering, I have a full-time job. The last marathon that I ran was Chicago in 2024. My goal for that race was a 3:05. I ended up running a 3:09, so I didn't achieve my goal, but I do have the mentality of I'm always grateful to be out there and to be able to run marathons. So although I like to achieve my goal, I try to keep it in perspective and not put myself down if I don't achieve those goals. My last marathon before this one was the Ventura Marathon this past February. And honestly, it wasn't a huge goal race until the end. I signed up for it with a friend. He wanted a training partner, and I was like,
yeah, I'll do it. I'll, do your long runs with you. No one wants to train for a marathon by themselves. All along in the back of my mind, I thought I would drop down and do the half. But the month before the marathon, I ran a 50K. Um, and that went really well. And I was like, okay, well, maybe my endurance is there. I just, work on some marathon pace and maybe I can do this marathon. So I kind of buckled down the last 2 months and trained specifically marathon pace for the Ventura Marathon. And it went really well. It was the best I've paced myself for a marathon. I ran my goal pace for 25 miles and didn't really hit the wall or anything until maybe the last mile. I faded a bit, but I was really proud of that, and I am drawing on that for the marathon project. I want to hit pace for all 26 miles this time, and with the right mindset and this good build that I can put together a good race.
So Berlin would be my last full marathon. But I did run Sydney 2 weeks before it. So I knew I was rolling the dice with the amount of travel I did there. Felt great when I ran Sydney. I should have thrown down and raced that day, but I was saving myself for Berlin. And Berlin was not the day I wanted, but I survived it.
It was last winter, late December, maybe early January. I remember I was on a run after work one night and it was dark, and I popped in a podcast and I was listening to it, and Lindsey Hine was interviewing Ben Rosario, and he was explaining this race, which is the Marathon Project. I listened to the whole episode, and in the middle of it, I decided I wanted to do it.
The Marathon Project came up during a trail run while we were training for our last ultra, or it would have been one of the ultras we did during the summertime. And I was running with Angela and Caroline, and they started talking about doing this marathon. And I, in all honesty, didn't want to do it at first because I've been trying to finish the world majors. And I wasn't sure that I was going to count for points towards a world major. And I just have one more, at least for now. I have Tokyo left.
In the spring sometime, we were out for a trail run together, and we were with our friends, Erin, Gabe, and Margo. We sent them the podcast that I listened to so they could get excited about it. And next thing you know, they all three were signing up.
Well, Killian, man, he looked. Did you see his finish?
At first, I wasn't sure that I wanted to join in. And then it was, you drink the Kool-Aid. Everybody's doing it. Oh, Gabe and Margo are doing it. Caroline, Angela signed up for it. So then I basically folded to signing up for it because I enjoy training with the group and I enjoy the push of the group. So that's what ultimately got me there. And then I was happy when I looked it up that it was actually a qualifier for all the things. I mean, I'm not going for an OTQ, but the time counts for the world majors.
The difference between qualifying for the Marathon Project and qualifying for one of the big majors is there's no age groups for this. Women had to be under a certain standard and men had to be under a certain standard.
The world majors, I think, are, kind of like going to Disneyland. They're big. They're these amazing places that you want to go. It's a different way of experiencing these parts of the world, which I really enjoy. The Marathon Project sounds like they're trying to make it be more of an elite experience, which would be cool. I'm not ever going to be elite. I'm 47 years old. I'm a decent runner, but I don't expect that treatment. So it's kind of cool to be qualified enough to get into the gold division and see how fast I can be, even if I'm not at my perfect point in my training.
The major marathons, the big ones, are like bucket list items that a lot of people have heard about: Boston, Chicago, New York. The Marathon Project is not. It's small. No one's really heard of it. It's more of like a personal goal than like a bucket list type goal. So it's a little more special in that way, a little more personal.
these things for so long. I can't tell my right from my wrong. There's no help in my prayer or my song. Last night I read from a book.
Tune-up braces are a big part of my training, at least. I like them because racing's fun. You're running with a lot of other people, whether you're racing it or it's a training run. And sometimes you can do really well and have a really great day and maybe even get a PR, but they're a good test of fitness, a good practice run for your A goal, and they're fun. Early on in the build, I ran the AFC half marathon as a tune-up race, and on the way down to San Diego to run AFC, I was remembering the last time I ran it and my time and hoping that I could do better than that and see where I was fitness-wise. So I ran the race, and it was hard. I wasn't in as good a shape as I wanted to be. I started out pretty fast because it's downhill, and then hit the hills and crash and burn, and then realized maybe I could do better than the last time I ran it, so I just finished.
I approached this with a coach. I have ran multiple marathons with no coach. I do enjoy having a coach. My coach is Angela, because it just gives me like a homework list, keeps me honest on my training and my effort. I never let down a coach because they see what I did and they see if I gave up.
Really helping my mind to move away from vulture training. I was really enjoying nature.
Gosh, me too.
The lack of worrying about pace. Wondering if my old lady body can do this again and be proud of it.
I'm a physical therapist, so I believe wholeheartedly in strength training. I do lift 3 days a week at least, on top of running 6 days a week. I follow Lawrence Van Lingen, and I do a lot of his mobility and breath work. I sauna daily. I try and cold plunge when I have time. So weekends and my half days at work, I do lift again, then I will sauna, then I will go and cold plunge as well. I'm at an age where it's pretty important to take care of all the things to last longer. So I'm in this for the long run, because for me, I have PRs coming, but I do want to be a runner for life. I want to be able to, see the world, run, hike, move. So I'm trying to maintain a healthy balance when it comes to running. When I feel an injury coming on, I back off. I try and listen to the physical therapist in my head instead of the athlete in my head. And I don't push through those things. I try and train through them smartly as much as possible.
Outside of running, what a lot of people don't see is I see a chiropractor who does active release therapy. I suffer with tight calves, and so I see him on a regular basis, probably once every 6 weeks, and he does active release on my calves. I also foam roll as much as I can. I like to do ice baths. If I can do the sauna, I try to do the sauna, although I wasn't able to get to the gym often enough, or often as I would like. I would go in my pool for my ice baths because my pool is in my backyard and the weather is cold enough now that my pool is basically an ice bath.
It's freezing.
In an ideal world, I would like to strength train 3 or 4 days a week, but just given that I work a job and I have 3 kids who all play sports and have lives of their own, I really only made it to the gym about two days a week. I would do a day of lower body, a day of upper body, and stretch and foam roll while I was at the gym.
We have 11 weeks to go now. Our long runs are getting longer and paces are getting faster. Had a tune-up race today, Long Beach half marathon, And that was a good, tough training run for the day. It was good practice. The goal of the race was not to race a half, so I had to change my mindset around that a little because I'm used to racing a half when I run a half and going a little faster. But the goal today was to be more consistent with my pacing and to do 19 miles total for the day. So I did that and felt pretty good during the run, was able to practice fueling and pacing, and it was still tough, so feel pretty good about building fitness from here.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Cause I'm on top. Cause I could win a lot. My name is Joe Dreams, and I say Joe, you say Dreams, Joe. 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 And don't forget the Z. Hey, you with the shoes.
The way I fit in running or training for a marathon with my life is I wake up really early and I get it done. For the most part, I am setting my alarm at 4 a.m. and I'm drinking my coffee, getting a little bit of nutrition, and I'm out the door.
Being that my job takes a lot of time, I'm usually treating patients by 7 in the morning, Monday through Friday. So I am up 4 in the morning to fit in my workouts before I see patients.
Most training weeks I was running 7 days a week. A few of them I'd have a day off every few weeks. So 7 days a week of running. If I had a long work day or I knew I had something after work that I needed to do, I would get up in the morning and run. And a lot of times that would be start running by 5 a.m. because I have to be to work by 7:30. So that's in the dark. That's pretty early. Have to go to bed pretty early to get up that early, to run that early. Sometimes after work, I would have maybe an easy run, but it'd be longer, maybe an hour and a half or so. So running into the night, and then the long runs on the weekend just take time to plan because those are several hours too. So this build, I would have one speed work or threshold workout during the week and then a long run on the weekend with marathon pace in it. And honestly, my long runs with marathon pace in them, those are hard, but those, I like those. Those to me are doable. I don't mind the long run. I like running long. Marathon pace is doable. I liked practicing that. For me, it was the speed sessions during the week that were hard. I think threshold is my weakness, and my coach had me doing a lot of that. We have 2 mile threshold and then 4x800s, 5K pace or faster, and then cool down. Might be hard. Those were the ones that got me. And those were the ones that I was practicing over and over to build threshold and fitness. And I built on that weakness, I think. And I think that being able to do those workouts makes marathon pace feel doable. And that's why I like those workouts. When I started this build, my very first speed workout that my coach gave me was 16 400s. And I have never done that many 400s. So I was like, what? 16? That's a lot of 400s. In every workout after that, I would just think of that first one. Like I thought I couldn't do it and I'd never done that kind of workout before, but I did it. So whenever I would see something on the schedule that seemed impossible, I just thought, hey, I did those 16 400s. I can do this. I think the best one, though, that told me, hey, I'm ready for this race, this marathon, was the workout with the Silver Strand half marathon in it. I hit marathon pace for the whole time. And that workout was the best of the build, and it was probably my peak during the build and built a lot of confidence. So going into the marathon project, I will remember that workout specifically.
My weakness is always going to be speed. And strides. Strides piss off my hamstring. I pulled my hamstring in 2017, and anytime somebody asks me to do strides, it's like lighting a fire. I don't know what it is about it. It just fires me up, and then I end up staving it off for a week or two. So I'm just come to the fact that I can't do them, which is fine. I mean, I feel like my strength is endurance. And so I'd rather run 20 miles than do a speed workout. I'm not going to lie. So my weakness is speed, but that's why I always do it with friends, because then when we suffer together, I have that support, have them near me. They're huffing and puffing with me. So that is how I get around my weakness there.
When I would look at the schedule, and if I had a long run with a workout in it, and I knew my friends were going to be with me, I just felt better about the workout. For some reason, it's easier for me to nail these workouts when I have somebody not even running next to me, but just doing the workout also. So I had quite a few long runs this training cycle that had marathon pace in the middle. And I had my training partner Erin with me, and I would hit all my paces.
First rep is done. Now we have another.
We specifically did a workout that was 5 miles at marathon pace with a 1 mile recovery, and then 4 miles at marathon pace with a warm up and a cool down. I think our total mileage for that day was 20. And, when I finished that specific run, it gave me so much confidence that I could hold marathon pace for that long in a training run.
But so this one has to be faster. We're talking, I don't know how to go faster, but I will try. But you have to stay with you this time. What piece didn't say what I just did. I averaged the 6:56, but that hill makes it so we start so fast. But I know I'm going to slow into my pace. Yeah. Okay. So we have a mile. So do you want to start at the beginning? What do you mean? Rather than run a mile this way and then start, or do you want to do that? And that way we pass
Right back to the barrier over there and then go.
Yeah. Yeah. Or all the way at the very end. The first barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that.
It's 4.3.
Okay.
So for me, this training cycle were early morning speed workouts. For some reason, it's so hard to get motivated when it's so early in the morning and it's dark outside and I have to hit marathon pace. Those ones were hard for me. It took a lot more digging deep and really finding the motivation to nail those paces. So this training cycle, I think I enjoyed the long runs more.
I feel like I had more of my good days in the beginning on this one. I am tending to lean towards the fact that I don't think I should do 18-week buildups, but that's what, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Can't change it now. But I had a lot of my stronger workouts in the beginning, I feel like, but that was coming off an ultra. So the ultra training, I think I gel with more than marathon training now, just because of all the climbing and what it does for you strength-wise. I've had those days where I thought, wow, it might come together this time. And, but I'm starting to wonder if I peaked about 4 weeks too early. So we'll see.
During this marathon build, the workout that gave me the most confidence was my longest run was 22 miles. I had a 6-mile warm up and 10 miles at marathon pace with a 6-mile cool down. And I nailed it. And I made sure I simulated what I was going to do on race day. So I ate something similar to what I thought I was going to eat before the marathon project. I set my bottles out and I got myself a pacer. And that is what gave me the confidence that this is possible. I know it's possible. My goal for the marathon project is to start the race conservative. It's hard to do that in most marathons because people are excited. People are running fast right from the get-go. And of course, I'm trained and I'm ready to go. So I need to hold myself back. I feel more confident when I'm maybe closer to the front of the pack. So it will be a big challenge for me on race day to have so many amazing runners in front of me. But that's a mental challenge that I'm ready to face. I heard on a podcast recently a guy say that you should run next to your competitors, with your competitors, instead of against them. And so that is my goal tomorrow for the marathon project.
I do kind of have a loose plan. I'm not going to lie. I was going to pull out about 3 weeks ago on this race, just because I don't really want to run it with hamstring issues. I have done that before and it's not a fun thing. I have worked through a lot. It is feeling better. I've really been working on my form with the guidance of Lawrence Van Lingen, and he gave me some tips that have really, really helped. But it's a matter of me being able to maintain my form with the race and trying to hit the paces. Since this is set up like an elite race, my plan is to line up around a 3:10 and see and kind of be cautious with my start. I'd rather try and hang on to a 3:10 pacer, and if I feel good, leave them in the end, than crash and burn when I'm feeling iffy.
So I did have a plan going into the marathon project, and I talked to my coach about it. And she told me to start out 5-ish seconds slower than goal pace in the beginning, get down to goal pace, and then faster at the end. And I was like, well, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to speed up at the end of a marathon. I've never been able to do that before. That's hard to do. And I told her, I was like, I know you're not supposed to bank time, but can I bank time? And she said, well, you can speed up at the end of a race and you have done it in training. So you can.
I just want to go out there and give it my best shot and know that all the time I've put into this, all the early mornings, all the late nights, all the gym sessions, all the times on the Peloton, that I can, the hard work is going to pay off and I can reach this goal.
from North Carolina, Margo from Marietta, California.
It didn't disappoint. It's kind of turned out what I thought it was going to be because I knew we all have lives. I mean, none of us are professional athletes that get paid to just work out all day. That would have been amazing. I mean, I just think about all the sleep I would have actually gotten while I was trying to do this, fit it all in. But it doesn't disappoint at all. I think it's part of the journey, and that's why we reminisce over our memories because we strive together, we support each other, and, regardless of what we can make happen with our days and our lives and our all the things that are required of us outside of just being runners.
When it's all done, you just look back and think, wow, I did that. And it wasn't that long ago that I couldn't even run a 7:15 mile for 1 mile, and I just did it for 26 miles. And I remember my first marathon and, how horrible it was and how I said I'd never do another one and how far I've come since then. And it just makes you think, wow, what if I can run farther, run faster, do this crazy event? Like, what else can I do? That's progress. That's good. I like it. Anything else?